Not too long ago, I had an SEO agency, which completely failed. There's a lot of funny stories there, but I had this agency and I had to make videos for it. And I had to do these voiceovers for the videos, right? So I get my article, I was doing my SEO for the SEO agency, I had the article, I'm making the visuals and all that stuff. And I open up Audacity. You know what it is. And my old mic, which if you go on my archive channel, you'll see it all that time ago. It's like gold. It's trash. I start recording on Audacity, this voiceover, reading the script. And go on for like 8 minutes. I stop the recording. I'm like, all right, great. I have it. Let me listen back to it. I turn it on. And I listen to it. And I sound like a retard. I sound like a special education kid. Because I slurred, not the word faggot, but I slurred basically all of my words. All my words were like mishmashed together. My pronunciation was awful. And of course, at this time, I wasn't very good at picking words either. I was smart. So I guess I sounded smart. I've always been told, I sound smart. I guess my vocabulary has always been above average, but in my opinion, I wasn't anything special in that regard. And that's all changed now because when I realized this, I was like, okay, this has to change. And I went on a journey figuring out how to fix it. And I would say, quite confidently, I have fixed it for the most part. So I'm going to teach you everything I did. All right? And it's very important to apply this stuff because as Christian men, and as men in general, we have, and I'll take a more Christian perspective, we have God-given free will. And we have temples. Our body is a temple, which means every part of it is a part of the temple. So whether it be how you look, how you present your body in body language, how you dress, and even how you speak, okay? You need to take care of these things. You need to actually put effort into them. And one of these things is how you speak. I'm going to go over how you say things and what you actually say. And remember, all these people are going to be like, this is shallow. We live for the afterlife and all this other crap, these soapbox Christians. Truthfully, we want to spread the gospel, right? We want to spread the good news. We want to make a difference in the world. If you talk like a retard, no one's going to listen to you. That's just the facts, okay? For someone who's like, hey guys, I'm making this video about how to slow all this words. If you talk like that, no one's going to listen to you. And that's an exaggeration, but you get the point, okay? If you talk like a retard, no one's going to want to listen to you. So, first thing, how you actually say things. I'm going to tell you 4 different things that helped me a lot. The first thing is what helped me with all the slurring of my words. Tongue twisters, okay? And when I said this at the start, a bunch of people were like, oh, that's gay. Do you think Andrew Tate does tongue twisters? That's stupid. And it's like, bro, they work. I don't care if no one else does them. They work for me, okay? And it's very simple, Peter Piper picked a pick of pickle peppers, a pick of pickle peppers, Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a pick of pickle peppers, was the pick of pickle peppers, Peter Piper picked. That was basically perfect. I don't know, because with this mic, sometimes, I don't know, it just doesn't, maybe I'm not loud enough. Maybe that's what it is, but from my own ear test, that was perfect, right? And when I first started, I couldn't even get past the first part. Peter Piper picked, messed up. Got to try again. So all you got to do, go on Google, open it up, tongue twisters. You're going to find a list, a bunch of websites, find a list like 50 of them, and do that. Every single day, just go through the list. Don't try it over and over again. Just do one, next. Just keep doing it until you get to all 50. You can do them relatively well. That's going to fix 99% of your problems if you have pronunciation errors. I literally, if you're someone who's always like, no one listens to me when I speak, I don't feel that confident because, I don't pronounce my words that well. I just fixed your problem right there. Believe me, that works so well. Yeah, I emphasize it so much because that's one of the main things that help me. Now, something I've been doing more recently are singing exercises because I want to learn how to sing because I have a guitar. I just messed up right there. I want to learn how to sing, I have a guitar, and I want to learn how to use it. So I started doing singing exercises, and there was this Jewish guy who has this YouTube channel, and I got some exercises from him. I'm going to link the video because I'm not going to do them on camera because it's not really a good idea for my future because you have to open your mouth and stick your tongue out. But in general, it's mostly about humming. So what I do is the national anthem, like like that, right? You focus on humming. You do the version. You do it with your tongue out, like a like a kid mocking someone, a kid that just got kicked in the face, that works very well. It helps more with your resonance and how it's less, because there's two aspects, I think. There's pronunciation and there's how you actually sound. And this next part is actually going to help with how you sound, and that's yawning. This is the Morgan Freeman thing. So basically, how it goes is your vocal cords, when they're tight, when they're unrelaxed, your voice gets higher pitch. In fact, right now my vocal cords might be a little tight. I haven't yawned today. I'm not going to do it on camera for obvious reasons. But when you yawn, it relaxes your vocal cords, which will lead to a deeper tone. Right? And as far as deeper tone, I just gave you three things now: the tongue twisters, the singing exercises, and the yawning. So the fourth thing, as far as, well, more like the third thing, as far as how you actually sound, in the context of how resonant your voice is, how deep it is actually just speaking a deeper tone. In this video, I might not actually have done a very good job at it, but just speak in a deeper tone, okay? Because what a lot of people do is they get really high pitched. You can control your voice. Now, some people say if you try too hard, then it's gonna hurt your vocal cords. Don't hurt your vocal cords, okay? And also, there's a thing where, at the end of the sentences, you go like that. How are you doing today? As opposed to, how are you doing today? Or how are you doing today? Right? And this is I forgot what the hell it's called, to be honest. I don't really care. All I know is this is submissive, which doesn't mean you should never use it, okay? This is this is friendliness. All right, you have to be careful about how you use it. I don't always use it. What you can do, this is a tip I heard, instead of going how are you doing today? You can do, how are you doing today? Right, so you're still ending in a deeper inflection, but you still have the high part in order to, give off the vibe that you're not trying to kill them, basically. If that makes sense. But in general, you want to be speaking, when you're just speaking normally, this is only stuff you want to do when you're asking questions, right? If you're just speaking normally to someone face to face, and you're just talking about a random thing oh yeah, yesterday there was this dog that fell on this girl's face and puked all over her. That was awful. How do I come up with these things? But yeah, you just speak in a deeper tone, yeah, so this dog fell from the sky and peed on this girl's face. That's a regular sentence. That's a statement. It's not a question. You shouldn't be ending the sentence yeah, this dog fell from the sky and peed on this girl's face. Not like that. Gotta be like this, not like that. Or like this, but I prefer this because, we're alphas here. I hate using terms like that because so many people have ruined them. It's you have a bunch of retards going around saying, I'm an alpha. So now when you say it, it just sounds sped. But you get the point. All right. So just speaking in a deeper tone. And that also goes for when you're just speaking in general. Right? Don't focus just on this part. Focus on the middle part too. I could be speaking right now like this, and this is a bit higher pitch, but I'm choosing to speak a bit more like this, breathing from my belly. Right? Your chest and shoulders shouldn't be going up like that. It should mostly be your belly. And then use the air from your belly to speak. But when you speak, you want to speak from up here, if that makes sense. So it's the air comes up from here, then you use the air up here. You don't use the air all the way down here because that's a little bit weird. It's very hard to keep it consistent. I'm doing it right now. But instead you speak from up here, but you use the air from all the way down here. If you watch the guys, I think, yeah, one of the exercises has to do with putting a pen in your mouth. And this, I didn't get my pen ready. I'm not gonna lie. But basically put a pen in your mouth and you hum. And you're supposed to hum from up here, not from down here. But you're supposed to use the air for the humming from down here. You just, think about it like this. You can either bring up the air and go like that, or you can bring up the air and go like that. That's probably the best way to get the point across. Okay, I'm gonna get my pen. All right, pen, this is the next thing. All right, so what you do is this. All right, those tongue twisters you were doing? And you just did them, and you're banging them out. You're doing a good job. Instead, now what you want to do is this. You take those same tongue twisters, you do this. Peter Piper picked a pickle pick a pickle peppers, pick a pickle peppers, Peter Piper picked a Peter Piper picked a pickle peppers, pick a pickle peppers, Peter Piper picked. You see, I messed up there. The pen makes it harder. But once you do, right now, I realize, it's much easier to speak now. Like, once you get good at speaking with a pen in your mouth, without the pen, you're going to be amazing. It's like, I don't know, doing, like, shadow boxing with weighted gloves. And you take them off and, it's so much easier. It's kind of how it is. It's a very good way of improving your speech right there with the pen. You start with the tongue twisters. Once you get good at those, start using the pen. And you can use any other object that's shaped like a pen. I mean, the pen just happens to be something really convenient. And obviously, make sure there isn't crap on it because you're going to put it on your mouth, right? So, as far as how you say things, that's basically it. 10.5 minutes. You didn't have to go to, an hours-long seminar and have to pay like $1,000 in order to be, get a bunch of exercise. I just gave you the secrets right there. All right. Now, as far as what you say, this is also very important because maybe you can say things clearly like me. But if you're not saying the things that I'm saying, the amazing things that I say, then it doesn't really matter, does it? So, what you say has, I would say, 3 aspects to it. Right? I would say the first and most important thing is actually being a man and having some balls. Because we see a lot of people, and I see a lot of this in a lot of Christians, they're what's the word I can use that's not a swear? 'Cause I don't swear. A coward, a cuck. There we go, a cuck. A lot of people are cucks with how they speak, and they cuck to political correctness. So I'm going to say here, women are dumb, and women belong in the kitchen. That's a bit of the second part is an exaggeration. The first part's, most of the time, but that's politically incorrect, right? Not politically correct. But I don't care. And when you don't care, your speaking ability goes up. I mean, think of the best speakers. Like, think in your head, think of 5 people who speak very well. How many of them are politically correct? For me, all 5 I thought of aren't. They aren't politically correct in any regard. And this is important because when you're censoring yourself, you're messing up your natural flow because you're speaking, and then imagine you're like, oh, well, I shouldn't say that. Then you're thinking like, oh, what should I say instead? You're gonna be like, yeah, and I think women, you're gonna have these pauses that are like in your brain. You have like a brain fart, and you have to think, okay, well, I can't say that, so I gotta try and say something else, but it doesn't work, right? So you're gonna be slowing yourself down if you're politically correct. So forget being politically correct. Okay, number 1 thing: be a man, have some balls, and own what you think and say. Now, obviously, I'm not saying go out and offend people on purpose. Like, don't go up to some woman you find unattractive, like, hey, you're ugly. It's like, don't do that. Yeah, it's unnecessary. But when you're speaking, when you're actually saying important things, don't be one of these people. Because this is what happened. This is why Christians are in the spot we're in right now. Keep losing. We had a bunch of people, and specifically men, because really this is all men's fault. This whole fiasco we're dealing with right now. We had a bunch of men. We had a bunch, there would be, imagine a situation where there would be some member that is backwards, who is a homosexual, pride flag, oh yeah, hey, look at me. And then the Christian man gets asked right in front of him, is this wrong? Is what he believes wrong? This homosexuality thing. And then he's like, well, it's not really any of my business. I'd rather not comment. Yeah. In that case, you're asked the question. You have a chance to spread the truth. You have a chance to say something important. Tell the truth. Do the right thing. The right thing to do is to tell the truth, right? You say, no, it's not right. That's what you say. That's telling the truth. Okay, that's what we have to do. And when you tell the truth, you realize your speaking ability goes up drastically. Now, next, vocabulary in general. So, the way you improve your vocabulary is different ways of doing it. You could read, which I only read the Bible. I don't read any of the books because Hyosha's razor, if you know, you know. But you can read. Reading does help. I guess I do read. I don't read books, but I guess I read excerpts and articles and whatnot sometimes. Read prompts. I read more than the average person, but it's not because I read books. Let's see, what else? You listen. No, that's the next part. Well, I guess For the last thing I'll say for vocabulary, I'll segue into the next important thing. Dictionaries. So dictionaries aren't the best thing necessarily, but if you're writing, and I would say writing helps your vocabulary the most. Reading is good, but writing is better. If you write a lot, your vocabulary is going to be amazing. Okay? Every day. This is what I did. This is what I used to do for my old videos. I used to write articles, kinda. And then I would make videos about the articles, but I don't do that anymore because I like free flowing a bit more because I'm a bit funnier, you know. I get to be myself a bit more, right? But I would write articles, and I'd write like 3 a day, and each one was 1,000 words. If you start doing that every single day, and you do that for a few months, your speaking ability is gonna skyrocket. Okay. Now, as far as the dictionary, right? You're gonna forget a lot of the words, and what I was gonna say was the speaking, the writing, right? If there's words you see yourself repeating a lot, find synonyms. If there's a certain word, there's a certain emotion you want to convey, but you don't really think you have the right word for it, look up the word. Try to find a word for it. That's the real way to use dictionaries and, learn words. Because if you just go in a dictionary and look up uncommon words, you're not really going to remember. Unless you're doing it every single day and you constantly remind yourself. But I say it would be better just to write and look for synonyms, look for new words, and then use them. Because when you use them, that's how you remember. So the last way to improve your vocabulary, which is going to segue into the next point, is observation. It's very important to use observation. Okay, humans learn by mimicking. This is why it's important to choose who you listen to, because if you choose to listen to a bunch of retards, you end up being a retard yourself. So when you listen to people, pay attention to how they speak. If you like how they speak, why do you like how they speak? Okay? And pick up things from them. Steal like an artist, as they say, because you don't want to be a copycat. You don't want to be someone who says, hey, don't be one of these retards. You see them, and it's very obvious they're copying someone, and they just say the same things in the same ways and all this other crap. No one wants to listen to them. But instead, a real artist, a real G, steals certain aspects. Like, for example, you may have heard me say the word plonker a few times. I got that from Gordon Ramsay. It's a funny word. Pillock, same thing. Got it from Gordon Ramsay. Funny word. Now realize, obviously, I'm not a copycat of Gordon Ramsay. I'm not here speaking in a British accent or a Scottish accent, whatever the hell he has, and screaming into the camera, calling you a fat pig and telling you everything is raw. I don't know if that accent came out good on camera, but that sounded funny. According to my ears, that was funny. In any case, you don't want to be fully copying people. You just want to take things that you like. So, for example, Trump. Now, a lot of my hand movements. It's a part of body language, but when you speak, moving your hands helps. Okay, don't move your hands, just move your hands. But if you feel like moving your hands is natural, do it. Don't be one of these people who are like, well, I kind of want to move my hands, but I won't because I don't want to take up space and, don't really want to do it. If you want to move your hands because it helps you speak. So anyways, like I had a lot of my hand movements like this. In fact, this I kind of got this from. I started doing this recently. I don't know why, because when I haven't been watching as much Trump, but I started doing this more recently. I don't know why, but I know Trump does that. That. Try to think of other hand. I don't think I got any more body language from him, but the sense of humor. No one does this like me, or no one can do that like me. Like that's funny. I like doing that. Tate is very good body language and speaking. Both of them, both brothers, they're very good body language speaking masterclass. You can pick up a lot of things from them. James Bond, and realize I'm talking about a lot of different people. And if you ask someone to watch my videos and he said, "Is this a copycat of XYZ person?" You say, "Oh no." You just take little things. You don't take everything. Because when you take everything, you're just going to need the same person. All right, and chances are you can't pull it off as good as they can because, truthfully, this is how everyone is. Okay, everyone has copied from other people, but they make it into the people who are actually good, the masters. The masters copied from other people, but they make it their own. They fit their own personality into the whatever they learned. So for me, like these are the type of things I got from Trump. No one does this like me. Like I got like that too. Like this is wrong, like that type of stuff, right? Other people might get other things from Trump, maybe in the way he speaks, like we have to build a wall, like, you know, that type of stuff. Maybe they're, because like Trump's a New Yorker, right? And as someone who grew up with a stepdad from that type of area for quite a while, I know how this, instead of like it's horrible, they say it's horrible, like that type of stuff, right? Maybe they're from New York too, so maybe they pick up on other things that I wouldn't pick up on, because I'm clearly an American who speaks. I don't even sound like a Floridian. I just sound like a white boy. You know, if you turned off the camera or if you blacked out the screen and you didn't know who I was, and you just heard me speak, you probably think I'm white. No, I don't have a drop of white in me. In any case, just pick up whatever you like from them, leave what you don't. And I would also recommend listen to people who work in different realms. So, like everyone I just mentioned speaks colloquially, which means essentially they speak in general terms. Like everyone kind of understands what they're saying. They don't use special words. They don't have specialized words for specialized fields, right? But I think it's important to listen to other people who are geeks, in a sense. Geeks in quotations, because there's a difference between a geek that's a geek and a geek who's not a geek. I know that sentence made no sense to a lot of people, but if you know, you know, okay? So for example, someone I listen to a lot is William Lane Craig, who's a Christian apologist, a Christian philosopher. He uses a lot of words that a lot of people don't understand. And he speaks, I don't think he speaks like a guy. I like the way he speaks, but he speaks very formally, very properly, right? And I learned things from him as well. Certain phrases, certain ways to open your story, certain ways to open, you know, certain words that are exclusive to philosophy that you can use outside of philosophy, right? And that goes for a bunch of other people, right? Listen to smart people, listen to people who speak in general terms, and even listen to dumb people sometimes, because sometimes dumb people have weird quirks that are actually good for, you know, your speaking ability. But remember, humans are creatures of imitation, okay? Don't be one of those people, because again, I'm going to go back to this point. I'm going to end here. Don't listen to people who are retarded. And don't listen to people you don't want to sound like. For example, Aiden Ross. Who the hell wants to speak like Aiden Ross? Who the hell wants to speak like IShowSpeed? No one. Okay? These people are degens. You don't want to sound like them. But if you're just watching them all the time, naturally you're going to imitate certain things of them. And you're going to end up, you know, having quirks from them, which I'm sure, like, ask anyone, do you want to speak like IShowSpeed? They would say no. IShowSpeed is, anyways, getting a bit off topic with that, but you get the point, okay? Only listen to people that you think are actually beneficial to you. And that's more than just, you know, speaking. That's a general rule. I'll make another video about that. But in any case, that's how you improve your speech. That's how you improve how you say things. That's how you improve what you say. All right? If you want further help, join the movement in building back Christian men, because every great uprising begins with education. Join the movement. Link in the description to the Discord. You can follow me on Instagram. Like my posts. Follow me so my Instagram looks better. Check out my website. Give me your email so I can sell you stuff in the future. Or even sell you stuff now. Who cares? More the merrier, right? And subscribe to the channel for future videos. Those are my call to actions. I'll see you in the next one.